Hello, everyone, and welcome to this webinar on generative AI in Microsoft Copilot Studio. I hope you're able to hear me loud and clear. I have shared my screen. I hope all of you are able to see my screen. Okay, if in case you have any problem, any challenge hearing me out, please feel free to drop your queries in the chat window. My team members will help, will try to sort it out. Okay. So first of all, let's start with a brief introduction about myself. My name is Ranjan, and I am a Microsoft certified trainer. I have overall 15 plus years of experience, primarily working on Microsoft technologies. I've been working on Microsoft Azure, Microsoft 365, and doing a lot of like Power Platform recently. Uh, I have got like hooked to Microsoft AI. Have been doing like a lot of like talk on Microsoft AI since last one year, and been like just trying to improve my knowledge. As you know that LLMs are new, generative AI is new, so everybody's like trying to learn. So I'm also trying to learn, and I'll like try my best to pass on my learning to you. Okay, so like in this my entire like stint as a instructor. Uh, I have got privilege to train employees across some of the best organization across the globe. I do a lot of programs for Microsoft worldwide, do program for Intel, Volkswagen, Cisco. You can see here that these are a few of the clients that I have served in this last decade as an instructor and as a consultant. Okay. If at all like you're looking to connect to me on LinkedIn, I have shared the QR code here you can see here on the screen on the right side. You can just like scan it and send me a maybe like a friend request over LinkedIn. Okay. Talking a little bit about our organization. So we are FlexMind. As a company, we provide corporate plus individual training on emerging technologies. So our key focus area again is like cloud computing, uh, Microsoft AI. We're doing a lot of courses on data analytics, Microsoft Fabric, doing a lot of trainings on cloud security, overall like threat modeling, and other like different popular emerging technologies which are prevalent in the market right now. So if at all like you or your team or your organization is looking for any trainings and you feel that maybe you feel confident about us, then definitely please recommend us. Okay. So with this, we will first of all, like I would like to brief you about the agenda. So as like we have got like 60 minutes of time, and I don't want to bore you with like too much of theory, and also at the same time, I want to like keep some time for the Q&A. So I'll try to maybe like finish this overall agenda in like 45 to 50 minutes. And then maybe like last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I'll try to take individual questions or whatever will be the most voted question. I'll try to take those. Okay. I'll not, though you are free to go ahead and post your queries in the chat window. My team members, they are equally capable of going ahead and answering all your queries. Okay. So please go ahead and write your questions and we'll try to answer as many as we can. Okay. So we are going to first of all start with a brief introduction to generative AI, and we'll try to understand that what is Azure OpenAI service. Okay, so as you know that there has been like a lot of popularity that ChatGPT has created in the market, and almost like every single vendor, right from like Microsoft, Facebook, Google, Amazon, all of them are actually like going ahead and providing their own language models for generative AI. So here we intend to focus mainly on the OpenAI services, the large language models that OpenAI is actually offering, and how it is being provided as a managed service within Microsoft Azure. So we'll talk about the basic concepts of OpenAI service, and thereafter I will give a proper demonstration as to like what are the different models which are available and how exactly we can go ahead and start working with these models. Okay. Once we have equipped ourselves with proper understanding of OpenAI services, thereafter I'll start with an introduction to Microsoft Copilot Studio. And I'll give you a brief walkthrough of what are the main building blocks of Copilot Studio. And thereafter, maybe Post that, I'll give a demonstration first of all without any generative AI component, how you can actually go ahead and start creating Copilot Studio, like your custom copilots. And then we'll try to add some generative AI capabilities within custom pilot and see that how we can leverage and make our co-pilots like pretty smart, and we can like maybe like plug in our knowledge base to the Copilot Studio so that we can create a useful conversational AI component that can actually be used by the by maybe like our team members, or by maybe like if you're able to create something like of enterprise grade, then it can be maybe like used by a wider audience. Okay. So first of all, before even we go ahead and start talking about like proprietorship like services, artificial intelligence is something which has been there since a very long time. It's not something which is like which has just now it has come up. Okay. I remember like 15 years back when I was doing like my bachelor's, at that time we had to study about like artificial intelligence. We also like read about artificial neural network. So artificial intelligence, the people who are like maybe absolutely new to this area, is just like a brief introduction that artificial intelligence, as the name says, is something which is like you are trying to create intelligence, human intelligence, or the cognitive senses that we have, like how we go ahead and perceive things. We see the objects, we clearly make out what exactly is this object, or when someone is talking, we are able to understand that what is the intent of that person. Okay, based on the tone of that person, we can find out that whether he's angry, he's happy, he's like, I mean, what exactly is the mood of that person. So likewise, artificial intelligence is nothing but like the machines are trying to replicate the same cognitive intelligence what humans are actually like having. So here you will find out that as part of artificial intelligence, there are different offerings which are available. Okay, so here you will find out that this is something which is showing us that we have visual perception, wherein like maybe we would like that if there is any object in the image, the moment like we give that image to the to the machines, they should be able to go ahead and find out that what is the object which is there in that particular image. Or maybe if you are trying to maybe find out that okay, how many people have wore a mask, if there are several human faces, then yes, there is like use visual perception that you would like to make out. Okay. And likewise, you'll find out there are different areas, text analysis. You have to do sentiment analysis, like people are sending emails, they're giving feedback and so on. We would want to automate those things that we should be able to clearly go ahead and understand that what is the intent of the person. Okay. How positive or negative is the sentiment. And likewise, you'll find out that we can have conversational AIs wherein like we can have maybe like AI, through AI, we can communicate with someone very much similar to how a human will actually communicate. And thereafter, decision making, we have predictive analysis that we can actually do. And thereafter, based on our data, if we have to make some decision confidently, how we can go ahead and do this. Okay. So here you'll find out that in the next step, generative AI is something which has like again like become it has become pretty popular in last 1 year. As I said that since the time ChatGPT created a buzz in the market, people, every single person is like has got curious that how I can go ahead and maybe I can create some content just by maybe giving a natural language. I can write some uh, sentences, I can give some instructions, and thereafter the machine should go ahead and generate some content for me. So here you'll find out that when we talk right now in the scope of large language learning models, okay, language models right now can help us do these three different tasks. And right now, what I'm actually talking about is something which is like very much uh, focused on the OpenAI offering. Okay, so maybe like if you talk about like meta-based offering, or you have other vendors available in the market, they may have large language models which are capable of offering even like other type of capabilities. But if you just talk about like OpenAI based offering, you'll find out that these are three main offerings that we have within generative AI that OpenAI can actually help us to go ahead and include as part of our application, like whatever solution that we are actually building. So here you'll find out that if we start with like the first category, it is showing us that we have natural language generation. So for example, if I give a prompt is nothing but the command that you are actually going to give. So similar to like how You will tell someone to, you will give some instruction to people that, okay, can you please open the door for me? Can you please drive the car faster, and so on. Likewise, we have whatever like instruction that is given to the large language models, okay, LLMs. That is something which is referred as a prompt. So why at all like prompt? It could have been called as simple sentences or instructions itself, okay. Prompt is again like a proper engineering behind prompts. Okay, you need to understand that machines will understand exactly what instruction you are actually going to pass to them. Okay, so there is art plus science associated with the prompt. If I go on just like giving some very rudimentary, very simple instructions every time that, okay, what is your name? What is where, I mean, can you book a hotel for me in this particular location? It will, this sentences are very plain, very rudimentary. So the result that we are going to get is also going to be very simple. You can add more context to your prompt, something like, okay, I am traveling from India to maybe like USA. I'll be like landing in Seattle, and thereafter maybe like from Seattle, like I need to stay there for 4 days. How should I go ahead and plan my itinerary and things like that? You always need to give more context. Okay, so right now I have written it just like a single liner prompt, and this is the response that I have got from the OpenAI model. Okay. So here you can see this, that is showing us that, can you please create a list of animals? It's very like simple and straight, like one single liner that I have given, no context that I have provided. So it has just gone ahead and randomly created this. Likewise, you'll find out that we have got like other prompts that I have given. So here you see this, that it is capable of generating text, plus it is capable of generating image. And in the third option, it is able to go ahead, and if I tell this model to go ahead and maybe create a Python code for me to implement Fibonacci series here, for example, I have just asked it to like create a code for me. It has gone ahead and created a code for me. Post this, I'll be demonstrating each of these capabilities. So as of now, I just need to focus on the, I mean, theory side, that, okay, what all things we can actually go ahead and do. And definitely there's a lot of like variations that we can bring to all these offerings. Okay. So what are language models, or what are large language models? Large language models, as you understand over here, are basically, I mean, AI has been there and machine learning also has been there since old times, okay, I mean, since very long time. But the difference that large language model is bringing over here is that large language model is something which is capable, it has been trained with a huge amount of data. So something which is like, we have data over the internet, we have like large and large volume of data that has been fed into the large language models. And thereafter, these large language models have done supervised as well as unsupervised learning. And based on that, they are able to now understand that, okay, what exactly you are asking me, maybe like some question, I'm going to just go ahead and answer them. Okay. But like the point is that, how are they going to answer it? If I go ahead and ask a language model that, okay, can you tell me the most populous city which is next to maybe like Bangalore? Okay, then in such case, like how, I mean, a machine, whether like you're using deep learning also, how deep learning is actually going, the model is actually going to find this out, that, okay, how am I going to find this out? Because whatever like humans communicate or talk, it's very contextual, okay? And when there's a lot of context involved, it becomes very difficult for programs or for code to find out that how there's a relationship between them. Okay, and that is when you will find out that the current large language models that you are seeing, like maybe like it's GPT, or it's like meta based like large language models that you are getting, or maybe like Google is giving their own like large language models. Almost all of them nowadays like follows something called as a transformer model. Okay, transformer model is right now the most sophisticated model that we actually like all of these large language models are using. And what transformer model does is that, in very simple term, I'll say this thing, that they use a mathematical approach to assign a mathematical number to every single context property. So if I say this thing, okay, Bangalore is a city, then maybe like it will assign a random number to Bangalore. Again, like there will be a series of random numbers that will actually be generated for each of the city. And then maybe like population can act as a second parameter. The third parameter can be maybe like the latitude and longitude of that particular place. So what it does is that it basically tries to translate all the context into numbers. And thereafter, these numbers are stored on the system. And whenever we give a query or we give a prompt to them, at that time it uses internally, maybe it uses what do you say, like a vector search, or it uses maybe like a semantic search to go ahead and appropriately find out that what would be the right answer over here. Okay, so this is showing a very basic overview of how basically a transformer model actually like works. Okay, so now here, talking about the generative AI model, we have got different generative AI models which are available. Okay, so here it is showing us, I have put down a list of the most like recent and the most popular generative AI models which are there. Whatever models right now that I'm showing over here, which is being presented, these are all something which is like a part of Azure OpenAI service. Okay, so all these are like not directly like OpenAI. OpenAI as a managed service, what Microsoft Azure is actually giving. So each of these models currently are available. You'll find out that GPT-4o is the most recent uh, generative AI model that has been like very recently. It was launched just like a few months back. It has been launched, and it is capable. It's a multimodal version. So multimodal, when we say, it's like it can take text as well as images as input. If you look into the previous models, okay, that are available, these models just can take text as an input. But GPT-4 Turbo model plus GPT-4o is capable of taking even images as an input. So we can give an image, and maybe like I can give instruction or prompt that can you please extract information from this particular image. Or if it's just like an invoice image, I would like to go ahead and maybe like give more instruction just to like so that the GPT model can quickly go ahead and process this image also and can return me with the result. We'll see this. Okay, so here you'll find out that GPT models previously were like being used only for a plain set of data that you can actually generate. Okay, or you can even like use this to generate maybe like code, but not media files. Okay, so DALE is another model which OpenAI is actually providing to go ahead and generate images. Okay, as I told you that whatever like prompts that we are actually going to give, so there's a prompt engineering concept associated with it. Okay, so if you, as I said, that it's all contextual. Okay, the more context you provide in your queries or the instruction that you are giving to the machine, the more refined result you are actually going to get. So it's not, I mean, so you need to, there is a thought process, there's an art and science associated with this. There's technicality you need to understand that, I mean, how should I should go ahead and start crafting my prompts. Okay, I'll show you a few of the prompts as to like how you should actually go ahead and start using these prompts. Okay, but there's like a lot of documentation available through OpenAI website or AWS website, where like they give different tools also which are available ready to use over the web, that you can basically go ahead and try to find out that how well you are actually able to go ahead and write prompts. Okay, so it's just like these are some of the categories of what type of operations you can actually go ahead and do with the help of prompts that you're actually giving to the models. Okay, so here you will find out that as part of like Azure OpenAI service. Okay, when we use Azure OpenAI service, we have these different parameters that we can actually go ahead and configure. So, okay, we are giving a prompt to the model, but along with that, like how, what is, I mean, how creative you want the LLM to be? Is it like you want it to just like focus on a set of repeated result, or is it like you want to maybe like allow this to be more creative? You'll find out that there are different like parameters that we can actually go ahead and configure as part of this. Okay, so here you will find out that, for example, we have configured a maximum response over here. This is something which what we call it as like tokens. Okay, so whatever like prompt that we actually give, so when you write a sentence and you give it to the model, your entire sentence is broken down into a different number of tokens. Okay, so it might be the case that if I have written that, can you please book a hotel for me in the New York, or maybe like in, can you suggest me some hotel which is like nearby to Times Square? So what it's going to do is that it's actually going to go ahead, break this sentence into different number of tokens. Tokens is the way Azure OpenAI service keeps a track of how much, maybe like what is the query cost. Okay, so like you will be giving an instruction. it will go to the OpenAI service, and thereafter it is going to give you a response. Okay, once it gives you a response, there will be some tokens which will be consumed in a complete like conversation like cycle. So you need to buy more and more tokens. Okay, so there's like your costing will be dependent on the number of tokens that you are actually consuming. Okay. So talking about, so if we have to use Azure OpenAI service, we can go ahead and connect to Azure OpenAI Studio. So here, Microsoft is like providing Azure OpenAI Studio that we can actually go ahead and start like maybe like experimenting with what exactly you're looking to build. Okay, so now here, I'll go ahead and quickly start demonstrating each of these prompts to you. Okay, so here in my environment right now, I am connected to my Azure subscription. Okay, so I have an Azure subscription. You definitely need to have an Azure subscription in place before you can actually go ahead and start creating any of the models that you have to use. Post that, you need to have access to Azure OpenAI service. Okay, now Azure OpenAI service right now is not available for the public, so you need to basically go ahead and submit a form, and with your subscription, whatever ID that you have got. As an individual, I'm saying, if you're an organization, definitely you need to reach out to the Microsoft sales team, and thereafter maybe like you can give your potential like use cases that you're looking to implement, and thereafter based on that, Microsoft is just going to go ahead and approve your request. Once your request is approved, thereafter you'll be able to go ahead and maybe start like uh, working with OpenAI service. So here you will find out that this is Azure OpenAI service. I have already created an instance of OpenAI service, but you are free to go ahead and create a new instance of OpenAI service, wherein like you understand this is like typically it happens with any of the resource creation within Azure. You require a valid subscription. You can create a resource group. And mostly like right now, not all of the regions support the deployment of LLMs. So, I mean, ideally, you should be like in East US. Maybe like for enterprise, again, like setup, there may be other offerings that Microsoft is giving. But as per like what the knowledge which is available in the public, I know that, okay, East US is something that you can use. We have Central Sweden and few other like regions where you can go ahead and maybe like create your OpenAI service instance. Okay. So here you go ahead and maybe like quickly maybe pick one of whatever like resource group that you have to use. And I can give this name something like Azure OpenAI service demo. Okay. And I can give maybe a sequential number to this to make it unique. And as of now, here you will find out that there's only single pricing tier, which is available over here. So we go ahead and pick this pricing tier. You can see complete like pricing details in terms of, as you understand that whatever like LLMs that you are looking to run, you can do a just like a cost calculation, an estimated cost calculation. Here you will find out that this is giving us a simple like breakdown of based on which particular model that you're actually like using, what is the cost that you would be incurring, right? So here, let's say that if you're using GPT-4, so in GPT-4, you will find out that for, as I told you that everything is calculated based on the tokens, right? So how many tokens that you actually require, you will find out that based on the number of tokens that you actually consume. So per 1,000 tokens is telling us that for input, wherein like user is actually going to give a prompt to the system, and when the system responds back to the user or the assistant responds back to the user, what is the token that will actually be required? Okay, so you can maybe like go through this. We can go ahead and simply create this. Now here, you'll find out that because this is something which is being provided as a platform, as a service to us, okay, in the context of Azure. So it's not just about like going ahead and using the OpenAI models, okay? Other similar to like how there are other offerings available in like maybe Azure or AWS, where like you have lots and lot of managed services. Like so here, now OpenAI is being like provided as a managed service when like you have more control in terms of enterprise workload that you're looking to deploy. So you can have your own virtual network configuration based on which you can like maybe configure a lot of like private endpoints, and also like put a lot of like other restriction in terms of what other resources basically can be used in combination with your OpenAI service. Maybe like you're looking to configure a storage account, you're looking to go ahead and maybe like use Cosmos DB or something else. Okay. So here, as of now, I'll keep it as all networks, and we can, without like doing anything extra, we can go ahead and simply submit this deployment request to the Azure Resource Manager, and we can create this. Okay. So I'll not wait for the creation of this. This is just to show you that this is the step to go ahead and do things. But here, I already have a OpenAI service created. Okay, so here, as I have an OpenAI service already created, I can quickly go ahead and use this. So once I navigate to the OpenAI service, it's just telling me that, okay, you need to go ahead and what is it like you're looking to work with? Okay, so I want to basically go ahead and start like working with maybe Azure OpenAI Studio. So I can go ahead and connect to Azure OpenAI Studio. Now this portal basically provides you with all the capabilities as to how you can actually go ahead and start using these models. Okay. So you'll find out that in this list of models on the left navigation, we have whatever like current models which are available within Azure OpenAI service. So you're free to go ahead and use any of these models. Okay. Now, when we are picking this particular model, you need to understand that this is just a catalog that is being like provided over here. Now, if you want to go ahead and start trying out anything, you need to go ahead and maybe create a deployment. First of all, you'll have to deploy an instance of that model with your own specification. So here you will find out that it is giving us this option that either you create a new deployment directly from here, or if at all like you have maybe some custom model or any like fine tuning that you have done on top of these current like models, you can even like take these models from the Azure machine learning side and thereafter try to create a deployment. So here when we choose create a new deployment, it's going to ask you with this question that which is the model that you are looking to use, right? So here you will find out that if you're looking to use a GPT-4 model, looking to use a DALE model or GPT 3.5, which particular model you are looking to go ahead and use. Likewise, we have embedding models which are available. Now, embedding models are basically like are used to maybe like compare huge amount of text in an easy manner. So there's again like a concept behind this that it just like tries to decrease the amount of variation that we have in terms of vector search. We just try to maybe like decrease this within like embeddings, and then like you can have your own embeddings with your own like whatever like custom training that you have done, and you can use that also. So here as of now we can maybe like pick any of these, right? So here it's telling me that you don't have quota available. I can maybe go ahead and use a different model. And when you are you need to create a deployment. So here when you are creating a deployment, you'll find out that there are different like model versions which are available. Which particular model version you are looking to use in this case, you can pick it over here, or you can leave it as auto update to default. Okay. Once you have this, so it's giving us right now the deployment type is only standard. We do not have any premium deployment type available currently under this subscription. And thereafter, you'll find out that based on my current subscription, whatever that I have, it is telling me that I can use 235K tokens per minute. That is like available for me to be like consumed. Okay. So I don't intend to use these many like tokens because we are just going to try out a few simple like prompts, but like you're free to go ahead and restrict this in terms of number of tokens that you want to use. Content filters, you can create your own content filters. Like right now, we do not have any content filters. Like content filter, as you understand, in terms of your organization, content filtering policy in terms of like nudity or maybe politics. Based on that, you can have some content filters created, and those content filters, if required, you can pick from here so that the deployment will have to go ahead and follow them. Okay. So I already have few of these deployments created over here. Once the deployment has been created, now what is the next thing that we actually require? We need to go ahead and start like trying out. I want to go ahead and maybe like run my prompt and see this thing that how am I getting the response. So here on the left navigation, you'll find out that we have chat playground. Within this chat playground, I can actually go ahead and maybe start like, so you'll find out there are different sections over here. As I already explained that we have different option, which particular deployment you want to use over here. So I want to take my 3.5 model, and thereafter it's showing us that what are the parameters that you can actually configure, right? So it's basically like you are testing out with whatever variations that you have to create. Okay, up to the time you don't get appropriate result based on what you are expecting from the LLM. Okay. So here, once this is done, thereafter we have different templates which are available, built-in templates that we can go ahead and pick, or if required, we can give a system message over here. So imagine like, I want this model to reply as a professor of a university. That can you please reply to my queries like a professor in a university? Then I can give a system message. I can update the system message over here. I can add few examples over here just to give an idea to the model that this is how it should actually go ahead and respond. So we provide few examples, and thereafter we start giving our prompt over here. So we can start giving a prompt right from here. So in this case right now, for an example, okay, so there is a question here. Okay, I'll take this question later on. Okay, there is a question that how can I go ahead and use this base model for my project? I'm not sure. Again, like I would need more context on this. Is it like you're looking to customize this model further, or you're looking to use this as part of your application that you are referring to? If you can provide me more context on this, maybe I'll try to answer. Okay, so here you'll find out that to save our time, we just want to like go ahead and quickly take some prompt from here. So I would like to go ahead and maybe generate text. So I give a generation text over here telling that I'm looking to fly from Bangalore to New York and stay there for 7 days. I have office work from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Post that I would be free. Can you suggest me how to use my time in the best possible manner in these 7 days? Okay. So I go ahead and send this prompt. The moment I give this prompt, now here you see that this sends a request to the LLM, and the LLM responds back with this. It gives us proper detail in terms of day one, arrival and exploration, and thereafter day two is giving us other sort of information. Now here, I would like to go ahead and add some more context that, okay, can you suggest me which is the best hotel in a budget of rupees 500. Please pay attention over here that I am not putting dollar over here. I have used a rupee symbol, and I'm telling that can you help me book a hotel in the budget of this much? Okay. And that too, I'm looking to book something near like Times Square. Okay. The moment I give this query, you see this thing that it is smart enough to understand that you are not referring to dollar, you are referring to rupee, and it understands that rupee again, like it is translating to whatever like is the rupee value against like dollar. Based on that is giving us this response that finding a hotel in Times Square will be difficult in this budget. And here is telling us that there are few other budgets, I mean, hotel which are available around this location. What is it you want to go ahead and do in this case? Okay. Now you'll find out that this maintains the context of the previous conversation. So here, how many past messages you want to include as part of session settings. Okay. So now here, if I give this a prompt that what is the cost for the second hotel that you have booked? Okay, so you see here that it has given us a response, and thereafter I just tell that can you tell me the cost for the previous hotel? So you see this thing that it is maintaining a state in the session, and whatever conversation that we are actually doing is just like able to understand that, okay, whatever like you have asked in the previous conversation or like previous like context, I'm able to like get the information out of that, and I'm telling that, okay, what is this, which is the second hotel that you have suggested, give me the cost for that. And then it is tells me that the hotel at Times Square. So you can verify here that the hotel at Times Square is something which is like listed as the second hotel is something which is coming up over here. Okay. Now, once we have tested this out, you'll find out that we can go ahead and maybe like just change the system message over here. So we can go ahead and maybe change the system message. Here it is giving us the system message, as I told you, is used to set the context that how exactly it should go ahead and behave. So I can change this system message something to, you are a programming assistant helping write code. Okay. And thereafter I can apply these changes. So I want to update the system message over here. And once the system message has been updated, thereafter quickly, I want to go ahead and I'm asking next question that write a function in Python that takes the character and a string as input and returns how many times the character appears in the string. So it's just going ahead and quickly providing me with a Python code. And It is also like giving a brief introduction about like explanation about this. Okay. Now I go ahead and change the prompt and tell that do the same thing, but this time with C sharp. You go ahead and write this in C sharp. Okay. So it just goes ahead and writes this code in C sharp. Okay. Now post that I am giving next prompt telling that I have some random code and I'm telling that what does the following function do? It will take this code and thereafter it's just telling me, it's giving me proper explanation of what exactly this function is actually doing, right? And explaining is after that, you'll find out that we can go ahead and maybe just like keep like continuing with the further like optimization. Can you simplify the function? Right, so here it has gone ahead and simplified this function, but I think this is something which is taking the previous response, the previous to previous, oh no, this is the one, right? So here it has gone ahead and it has created a maybe like a more optimized or simple like concise code for this. And if I'm looking to add some comments to this function, right? So it's going ahead and adding proper comments to this particular code, right? Okay. Now here you'll find out on the top, it also gives us view code. So if at all, like, I mean, when we are looking to integrate the same model with our application, at that time, this is the endpoint which is available, the API key that I'm using, and here based on which is the SDK that you are actually using. So here it is something which is showing us based on a simple sample of like how you should actually go ahead and invoke this from your application, right? So here, as of now, again, like we have support for these different like languages which are there, okay? Now after this, I'll quickly go ahead and move on to the DALE. So here you will find out that this is the DALE playground. So when you're looking to maybe create an image, you go ahead and maybe like give an instruction over here. So I can give create a watercolor painting, right? Watercolor painting for maybe like Seattle, the skyline. Okay. So it goes ahead and takes the prompt and start creating this image. You'll find out that there are a few other examples that I have tried out already. If you provide more context that can you please generate an image which should have these some, I mean, special context, like you can provide more context and it is going ahead and generating this image. So here you'll find out that this is something which is showing us a watercolor painting of the Seattle skyline is something which is coming up over here, right? So as I said, that is something which is telling us that if you're looking to work with Python and should at least have this version on OpenAI Python library that you should be like using as part of this, okay? Along with this, so right now, whatever like information that we are actually using, it is like global knowledge base, right? So whatever like uh, generic data on which the models have been trained is just going ahead and training us or like giving us result based on that. What if like we want to go ahead and maybe restrict ourselves to our custom data sources that no, we have just like some custom data and we would like to go ahead and use only that, okay? So for this, you'll find out that we can go ahead and add our data to different locations. So here you will find out that it provides us with this option that we can actually go ahead and add one of these data sources. So Azure AI search is again like is used basically as a managed service. You can go ahead and search through your HTTP data sources. And along with that is also providing us with these different like data sources endpoint that we can actually go ahead and use. So what I have done is that I have gone ahead and added some custom data. So let's say that I have some PDF files which I want to go ahead and use as part of like my training. Okay, so here you'll find out that I have some brochures which are available. I would like that no, just go ahead and use only these custom data when you are responding to the user. I don't want to use like maybe anything else. Okay, so here you'll find out that we can go ahead and first of all create right now in this case, what I have done is that I have created a storage account and within that storage account, I have uploaded all these files. You're free to go ahead and upload this to maybe some other location. So here you will find out that in the chat itself, we have the option to go ahead and add data source. So if we click on add a data source, it's telling us that do you want to upload files over here? So we can go ahead and upload files. So what are the files that you're looking to upload? Where exactly you're looking to upload? That is something that you can go ahead and create over here. Along with this, there's an Azure AI search instance that I have created. There's one resource which is created for Azure AI search. Why? Because whatever data that we're actually going to place over here, we need to first of all go ahead and do the indexing. That is how the OpenAI service will be able to go ahead and maybe read through this information. Okay, so I have just gone ahead and uploaded this. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly use this. I am using one of the existing Azure AI search service. So this is my search service, and here I have a search index that has been created. It's asking us that do you want to include vector search? I'm keeping it simple right now and not including vector search. And thereafter it is telling us that do you want to do a field mapping based on whatever like index fields that have been created? Do you want to create like your own custom maybe like mapping? So there's a simple mapping that I have done over here. So for content data, like based on which is the field, indexed field that is holding this information, I've just gone ahead and added this. Okay. Once we do this, thereafter it is asking us that what is the search type that you want to go ahead and run. So you want to go ahead and do a semantic or keyword based search. I'll keep it simple, keep it as keyword search right now. And thereafter how this service is going to go ahead and authorize to the your maybe like to the search service. So I'm going to go ahead and use the API key. I have already configured the API key. So once we go ahead and add our own data source, you'll find out that once it is added, now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to ask the same question. Okay, but this time I want to go ahead and simply use this that I would like to take a trip in New York. Where should I stay? So what it's going to do is that it's showing us information only from my document. Okay, because I have added a data source, and thereafter it's just like restricting to this particular data source. I can show you that if I open this particular like city brochure that I have, you'll find out that this is something which has the Manhattan Hotel, the Grand Central Hotel, and the Park Hotel, which is available over here, right? So this is something which is showing us only based on this particular context. So you see this thing that we can go ahead and we can test with maybe like whatever global data set with which the LLM has been trained, or at the same time, if we have to go ahead and configure maybe custom model, we can do this. Okay. So I'll quickly move through the slides. Okay. As we are already like running behind on the schedule. Okay. So now here, when we talk about Copilot, so first part is like Azure OpenAI service. Now, when we talk about like Copilots, as you understand, these are again like generative AI assistants that basically has a chat interface and it can take more context. Okay, so here you will find out that Microsoft is providing different variants of Copilot. So here you will find out that I have just listed down these different like Copilots which are available, right, based on what exactly you are looking to go ahead and do. So we have Copilot for security, we have thereafter like GitHub Copilot, we have Copilot Studio, several of them which are available, right? And so here you will find out that there are mainly like three different categories of Copilot. One thing is that something that you can use out of the shelf. You don't need to go ahead and customize anything. You just go ahead and use it as is, similar to what you are getting into like maybe Windows, or like on Edge, you are going ahead and using maybe like the Copilot assistant. The next thing is that we can go ahead and extend maybe Microsoft 365 Copilots or Dynamics 365 Copilots by creating our own plugins. And the next one is like we can use Copilot Studio to go ahead and create our own custom Copilots. Okay. So here, this is something which is showing us that how we can like go ahead and we have different variants of Copilot that is available. So here it is showing us that how you can use this as part of web browsing. Or if you're working in the context of Microsoft 365, you can go ahead and use this in combination with maybe Outlook. You can use it with Word, you can use it with PowerPoint. So similar to what we have seen, that you provide a proper prompt, you want to maybe like summarize a document, you want to summarize the thread of emails, all these actions you can go ahead and take directly from here. Likewise, we have AI assistant data analytics Copilot, which is available. So we have Copilot in Microsoft 365 and Copilot in Power BI that Microsoft is providing. Okay. Next one of the important offerings mainly for the, I mean, security related people. I have seen that there are a lot of people who have registered coming from security background. Okay. Uh, though we are not focusing on the security side, another colleague of mine will be doing maybe some future session on the security focused on the Copilot of security. But here, just to give you a heads up, uh, we have copilots available for security as well as for Azure. So here is something which is just showing us that within Microsoft 365 Defender, if you have, or maybe like you are using Defender for Azure, then in such case, you can go ahead and use once again like security copilot and put your own like whatever custom queries that you have. And based on that, maybe like again, we can do the assessment of our security posture, mitigation, the current threats that we have, such type of information we can go ahead and maybe try to get from the Copilot. Okay. And then within like Azure, again, we have a Copilot variant that Microsoft is providing that basically helps you to go ahead and work with the Azure related resources. Another variant is like GitHub. Within like GitHub, we can use GitHub Copilot. GitHub Copilot helps you to go ahead and thereafter again work with your code. So similar to what just now you saw that when I gave a piece of code and told it to just explain it to me, very much similar to that here also as part of GitHub Copilot, you'll find out that this is something which provides us with different capabilities. Okay, that around like code hub, it can explain you the code. Maybe you're looking to go ahead and improve the documentation and things like that. You can do with the help of GitHub Copilot. Okay. The last one in the sequence is Microsoft Copilot Studio. Microsoft Copilot Studio is a low-code tool. It's a graphical tool that basically helps you to go ahead and create and maintain copilots. Okay, so once again, like whatever like conversational AI bots, previously like it was called as bots. Now in most of the places, like you'll find out that this is referred as Copilot. The main reason being that the AI capabilities, the LLMs which has been plugged to the chatbot, that has kind of like now it has been completely like revamped and it has a lot of intelligence that has been included. So that is why it is being like referred as Copilot. Okay, but like interchangeably, you can definitely like call it as a chatbot. Okay. So here when we are working with Copilot Studio, we basically use topics. Okay, so what exactly is the topic? So you need to understand that within Copilot Studio, any question or any task that you want the Copilot Studio to do, let's say that someone is looking to get information related to maybe some service request that they have. So they are reaching out to maybe the IT desk team, help desk team, and they are saying that maybe, can you please provide me with the status of my current maybe like service request. At that time, maybe like based on what are the different areas in which we are looking to go ahead and this Copilot is going to serve the user, we can create different number of topics. Okay, so here you are seeing this that within Copilot Studio, we have different number of topics. There are system level topics which are created, and along with that, we also have custom topics we can actually go ahead and create. And then after each of this topic may have a trigger phase, or we can use again like advanced capabilities to make it understand that which particular topic should actually be invoked. Okay. So here we can use generative AI, same thing what we have seen for the OpenAI service. We can go ahead and use those capabilities within Copilot Studio. So we can go ahead and use maybe generative answers as a fallback. So we have different, let's say, topics created. And when person is giving maybe some natural language command, writing a prompt, at that time, the Copilot is not able to understand. At that time, fallback topic is something which helps us to go ahead and maybe help answering the query using a generative AI, because we don't know that what exactly the user is actually going to ask. Okay, so here it is showing us that we can use generative AI in different ways within Copilot Studio. So we can go ahead and make it like use it within a fallback topic, or we can insert this generative answer to even like create custom topics. Okay, and thereafter we can use these Copilot to create whatever like topics that we have to actually create. Okay. Once the bot has been or the copilot has been created, we can go ahead and maybe publish this to different channels. So here you will find out that these are the channels which are available where we can go ahead and publish this. Okay. So here I'll just go ahead and demonstrate generative AI capabilities within Microsoft Copilot Studio. Okay. So here in this case, I am heading back to my Copilot Studio. So to access Copilot Studio, you navigate to copilotstudio.microsoft.com. Once you connect to the Copilot Studio, you'll find out that there are different samples which are available. Okay, so here, this is something which we can just go ahead and maybe start creating something. So here on the left navigation, you'll find out that we have few copilots which are created over here. You can go ahead and maybe start creating a copilot from the scratch, or you'll find out that we have several templates which are available. So there's like more and more like templates that Microsoft is like introducing over here that you can go ahead and maybe like pick, and thereafter start creating. Maybe you can take it as a template, try to understand that how things have been implemented, and then maybe you can try to leverage this on your own. So here we can go ahead and create a new copilot. Okay. When you're saying that, okay, go ahead and create a new copilot using Copilot Studio. So it's asking us that what should I say, right? Uh, so here in this case, maybe like once again, I'll just go ahead and give some instruction here. So you see here that once again, it is like using the LLM capabilities to maybe like provide you with a skeleton of your copilot, that your custom copilot that you're looking to build. So here I can tell this, I'm looking to create a copilot that will act as a travel desk and help people answer their queries related to booking hotels and sightseeing. So once I give this, it's showing me here on the right side, you can see this, it is taking this instruction and adding it into the context. So the primary language is English over here. If required, we can go ahead and make it as multi language support. We can go ahead and configure over here. Okay. And thereafter, it has taken that context that this is going to act as a travel desk. And then it is saying that, what should I say? So here in this case, I can give another like maybe context to this, saying that be joyful, fun loving, but stay professional. Okay. Thereafter, next thing is going to ask that understood, just like telling that, okay, this is how I'm going to just go ahead and behave. Any tips? Okay. So any tips, like basically if there's any website that you want to like, maybe like any like knowledge source that you have to use, maybe you can go ahead and use in this case. Okay. So here you'll find out that if at all you have to use any of like maybe like hotels in Mumbai. Okay. Let's say that I'm just taking one of these, and here in this case, I can maybe like pick any of these. Okay. So I can take maybe this particular like this one, and I can add it over here. That okay, just add this hotel. I can comma separate this and provide another like maybe other what do you say links over here. And once we provide this, thereafter it's telling us that is it like something else. Are there any topics or tasks that the co-pilot should not help with or talk about? So here you'll find out that this is something that I can tell that please avoid including politics, hate, and nudity. Okay. So here on the right side, you'll find out that this is something which is going to subtract this, telling that, okay, I'm done. Once I'm done, now it will go ahead and create a co-pilot for me, a custom co-pilot. Okay. So here, like it's first of all telling me that, okay, just go ahead and start maybe like you have created this. Now, do you want to test this out? Okay. So I can go ahead and maybe like start testing this out. Okay. So here I can once again give this information that, okay, I'm looking to book a hotel in Mumbai, which is near to Bandra. And can you suggest me good hotels in a budget of maybe like 500, sorry, my bad. Okay. Maybe 5,000 rupees. Okay. So right now you'll find out that this is something which is giving us, it's again like using overall like entire like LLM, its knowledge base. Okay. If you want to go ahead and restrict this to only your knowledge base, you'll find out that we can go ahead and create this copilot here. And thereafter, once the copilot is created, we need to wait here. And like once like description and instruction gets loaded, that is when like we get to know that it has been completely it's done with the creation. You'll find out that as we have created this by using a copilot, there's some knowledge URL that we have added. And here there are several topics which has been created. So here, whenever we are giving a query in this case, okay, you'll find out that because there may be, I mean, we want to like leverage the generative AI. The moment I'm writing anything in a natural language and sending it, it's going to go ahead and trigger a topic that is based on unrecognized intent because it's not able to understand right now the copilot because there's no such topic which is matching with exactly this intent. Okay, so here you'll find out that if I click on this, it will show me that you this particular topic has is called as like conversational boosting. For an example, I can go ahead and write this in fallback topic also. Okay, but here in the conversational like boosting, I have gone ahead and in this case right now you'll find out that when we create a particular like copilot, we have different like actions that we can add as part of this. Okay, so here this long list of different actions. Here we have generative answers that we can actually go ahead and include. So there's a generative answers node that has been added over here. And once the generative answers node has been added thereafter, whatever text that is available over here, this is something which is being like passed through the activity text. So it is taking the overall text and post that is going ahead and basically the data source. What is the data source that has been like configured? You'll find out that this is something which is showing us that we can go ahead and as of now, do you want to search only in selected sources? Is it like you want to search, restrict this search only to a specific, maybe like knowledge source? You can go ahead and do this over here. If you want that, no, the generative AI should go ahead and use this its own like knowledge base, you're free to go ahead and turn this off and just like restrict your search to this particular data source. Once you do this, the query that we are actually going to send, it will once again just restrict itself to this particular URL. Okay. You'll also find out that this is something which is giving us this option that is it like you want to go ahead and use an OpenAI service endpoint. Okay. So the OpenAI service, for example, that we have created, wherein like we are looking to go ahead and restrict this only based on our brochure knowledge. Okay. There's an OpenAI connection that I have created. So here you will find out that to use this, there is a connection that you need to create in the Power Apps portal. So here we have a connection that I have created with the name Azure OpenAI. So you'll find out that in this list of connector that is available, there's a connector available for Azure OpenAI. And here you can configure your endpoint. So basically I have gone ahead and configured my endpoint over here. Once the connection has been created, I have simply gone ahead and I can use this connection. So here it is showing me that you can go ahead and use this connection. Once the connection is like added over here, it's showing me that what are the connection properties that you want to set. Now, please understand that this will ensure that the result will now come only from my OpenAI service and not any generic website or maybe not from the overall knowledge base of what the language model is actually having. Okay, so here you'll find out that this is something which is telling us that go ahead and configure these properties. So here quickly I can come here. We are running out of time. Just give me like 5 minutes. I'll be done. Okay. So here, what I can do is that I can take the deployment name. So this is the deployment name, which I can take over here. Then there's the API version. The API version, I can take it from here. From the top, you will find out that we have view code. There's an API version, which is included over here. You can take this API version. So basically, these are the properties that you need to go ahead and configure. What is the maximum token that you want to allow? The temperature that you actually want to use in terms of variation, I told you, in terms of creativity that you want to set over here. And then you'll find out that this is something which is showing us indexing data. So how do you want to go ahead and configure this? So I have an index already created. I can go ahead and maybe use this particular index. Okay. So I have an index created in the Azure AI search. You'll find out that when you create a connection, at that time it will ask you about OpenAI service endpoint plus the Azure search service endpoint. That is how it will be able to go ahead and connect to your search service. Okay. So here, once this is done, I can give all other, sorry, this is the information that I can configure over here quickly, right? So this is the information I'm giving. What is the title that you are setting over here? So this is exactly title. Then file name is basically file path. Okay. That is basically the name of your index property. It's not something I'm giving randomly. You can see here that these are the fields which has been indexed. So we need to give exactly this value. And where is the content? The content is included in the content field over here. So I can give content over here. Once this is done, thereafter, you can also provide a system message over here. So same system message, what was like available over here, you can go ahead and do this over here and give this, right? And we can save this. So once it is saved, now if you test the same prompt, you'll find out that it will first of all try to get the information from the OpenAI service. And if you want to include the generic whatever like data that the LLM is actually like using, you can enable this. If you want to disable this, you can definitely go ahead and disable this. Once this is done, you're free to go ahead and publish this. So here you will find out that we have different channels which are available. So 1 minute, I need to save this. Once I save this, thereafter in the next step, we need to go ahead and publish this bot, okay, or this copilot. So once it is completed, you'll find out that we can go ahead and by default, it is configured to use this authentication. So here you will find out that in terms of security, it is right now using Microsoft Enter ID authentication. This is something which has been changed recently. Previously, it used to be anonymous. No authentication was the default one. Okay, so we are going to change this to no authentication. And I'm going to go ahead and publish this bot. Okay, so I'll close this. Once this is done, I can come back to this. Okay, and here I can need to publish this so that I can go ahead and use it across different channels. Okay, so these are different channels where you can use this. So here I'm going to publish this. Once we publish this, thereafter, we can go ahead and configure this for different channels. So you have to go ahead and use this Copilot in Microsoft Teams, or you need to go ahead and use this maybe under your custom website or maybe demo website. You're free to go ahead and use this. Okay, so here, as soon as it gets published, thereafter, you can go ahead and maybe uh, just quickly, I can show you that how to go ahead and maybe use this with one of these channels. Okay. Meanwhile, if there is like any question, maybe you can put it in the chat. I'll try to maybe take these questions. Okay. I know that we are running short of time. Okay. So here you'll find out that once I have published this, thereafter there's an option to use a demo website. I can go ahead and play this. I can do this even from a incognito mode just to ensure that this is something which does not require any organization specific authentication. And here, I have not customized these instructions over here, but it is giving me this message. Now here you will find out that I am going to ask this prompt. This time I can maybe like go ahead and change the instruction, uh, New Delhi, which is near to maybe like Connaught Place, right? Something like this that I want to give. So here I can give this and it will go ahead and here you will find out that it is giving us this response based on how whether you have restricted this only to the OpenAI service or you are using the generic data source for answering this question. Okay. So with this here, I'll just like move on to the Q&A time. Anyone like having any questions? Maybe I can read through the chat and try to answer few of these. Okay. I have one question here asking is in available over here. Let me see this. Hmm. Okay, maybe just trying to use this. Mm, can someone please paste this question over here? I'm unable to connect to this. Okay, no worries. So here, first of all, how should I choose the base model for my project? Okay. Uh, Base model basically will depend. I mean, if I'm able to understand your question correctly, I mean, you need to first of all find out, see the pricing point, and thereafter try out your prompts, like what exactly is the end goal that you are trying to serve. Okay, now maybe like GPT-4 models are more cost optimized compared to GPT 3.5 models. Okay, so that is one of the areas. Likewise, is it like you're looking to work with maybe uh, images, then in such case you will be using DALE. If you're looking to use with like generative text only, then you will have to maybe pick either like one of the GPT models. Okay, and that's it. I'll say this thing, that it basically depends on what are the capabilities that you're actually looking for within this. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Anyone? Any question related to Copilot Studio or OpenAI service? Anything? Okay, so if there are no further questions, maybe we'll stop here, and I just like to thank each one of you for joining in and giving your valuable time. If in case you have any training requirement or maybe any learning queries related to these topic, please feel free to reach out to the team. Okay, so you can drop us a mail at learning@flexmind.co, and we'll be more than happy and glad to serve you. Okay, so with this, we'll stop here. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.